Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to That's Football, the morning after the night before. What a Saturday of Premier League action it was yesterday, and we're going to focus on the top of the table with Aston Villa beating Manchester City and Arsenal in back-to-back home games at Villa Park. What an amazing job Aston Villa are doing. But I want to start off talking about Arsenal actually, and Liverpool are top of the league, remember, and will stay top of the league no matter what Man City do later against Luton. And don't forget, we're going to be live for Spurs Newcastle watch along this afternoon. But I want to talk about Arsenal. Are Arsenal still title favourites when it comes to this league table? Because what I really wanted to get into is, and I don't know how frustrating it is to be an Arsenal fan, and thankfully I'm not one, but it must be an emotional roller coaster all the time. Last week, we've got content creators, social media, this Arsenal are going to win the league, Arsenal are going to win the league. And then now, a few days later, you scrape a win against Luton, you get beat by Aston Villa. Oh, Arsenal are going to bottle it. Same old Arsenal. And I'm like, I'm not even an Arsenal fan, and I do find certain aspects of modern fan culture, I'm not even talking about the mainstream football here, repulsive, because it's just so flip-flop. And maybe people enjoy that, and I've got to respect that, but the cold, harsh facts are Arsenal probably, where the way that league is at the moment, are favourites. Simply because last season they finished second and they've got that in their armour. And this season, they're a better team, I believe, better equipped to win the league. I'd still say Man City are favourites, but Arsenal are in a good situation. And we can't on one hand say the Premier League is amazing and anybody's capable of beating anybody, and then Arsenal lose to Aston Villa 1-0. Oh, look at them. They can't. I just don't think this league this season is a league where somebody goes anywhere near unbeaten. And obviously that's not going to happen. But I still don't think it's a league where somebody loses less than 5 games. And Arsenal have lost 2. And it's nearly Christmas. And they've just lost to a team that are 1 point behind them in the league and have just beat Man City. I actually think from the game yesterday, Arsenal should have got a point. Very big well done to Villa. Winning when you're not at your best and scrapping a win is exactly what you do if you're going to finish in the top 4. But from Arsenal's point of view, they should have got a draw. They should have got a draw out of that. Not even the contentious decisions, which I don't think were contentious, but the volume of play they had when they went 1-0 down to the end of the game, there was enough opportunities. I think they were wasteful in the final third, and they should have got a draw. So if I'm an Arsenal fan, you've got to take on board the disappointment of losing. Any winning team is disappointed when it loses, but I'd come out of that and go, dust ourselves down. Massive game at Anfield in 2 weeks' time. Let's go and win next weekend ahead of that game, and then let's go to Anfield and express ourselves again, because we certainly did do that at Villa. We just didn't score the goals. They were much better than they were against Luton, and funnily enough, Villa were worse than they were against Man City. So game to game, you're going to get these fluctuations in form, and therefore you're going to have good and bad results. But look, I think the logical Arsenal fan just is disappointed, but goes, look, we're on a very good trajectory here. Defensively, we're a lot better. The problem with Arsenal at the moment, and they didn't have this last season so much, is scoring goals. They're not scoring goals in the final third. I think there is a media bullshit around the goalkeeping situation. They're desperate to remove Raya and put Ramsdale back in goal. I think some Arsenal fans have fallen into that trap. Trust me, it's about Brexit. It's about a British goalkeeper and a foreign goalkeeper. That's what it's about from the media. I've heard nothing to suggest that this is not about a prospective England number 1 losing his place to a foreign goalkeeper. I don't see any other argument than that. Arteta has quite clearly brought a goalkeeper in to improve Ramsdale, to improve on Ramsdale in his mind, and that should be respected. There is no confusion. Raya is number 1. Raya made mistakes against Luton and he was in goal yesterday, had a good game. Raya is Arteta's number 1. That's just media bullshit, trying to create a story. It must be frustrating for Arteta and Arsenal fans that people keep going on about it, because Raya's number 1. Deal with it. Ramsdale needs to leave. Deal with it. The big issue I see with Arsenal is I don't like Havertz and Odegaard with Rice. I don't. I know it could have worked yesterday, but I don't like it. I don't like the balance. I don't think we're seeing the best of Odegaard. And I don't personally think Havertz is good enough to play in an Arsenal side that's going to win the league. That's the biggest topic. I might be wrong, but that's the biggest topic. But other than that, I thought Arsenal played well yesterday. And I think it's just bullshit that people are overhyping it and saying, oh, Arsenal are bottlers. I'd still put them as not firm favourites, but at the moment, I think, you know, they're up there, and it depends on what Man City do, but I think they're having a very, very good season, Arsenal. And you're going to lose games in this season, and I think it's a It's like Man United. I've just done a video about Man United on United Stand, and there's United fans who are Ten Hag out, and it reminds me of the Arteta out lot who just didn't see the bigger picture and the huge problems Arsenal had, and the patience that was needed with Arteta to go through the bad results and erode and remove the shit and rebuild the team. And I feel like that about United at the moment, because there's no sense of reality that United have got no divine right to be in the top four. They're not good enough, and they will get beaten by teams that are well organised if they don't turn up. Arsenal did turn up at Villa yesterday. They just didn't do enough with the ball in the final third. You can't question their application and effort. It was just one of those days. As for Aston Villa, what a week. Can Aston Villa win the league? No, not in my mind, but I don't know how they're doing what they're doing. And that is a real testament to the brilliance of the coach and the brilliance of the players, because you can't have a good coach without players that are going to do, work hard. And those Aston Villa players, such a contrast to United. Like, those players just work constantly, work. And I think this is a great lesson in life. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work hard, people who aren't as talented as you will surpass you on work rate. And that's what Villa are doing. And as I said on the watch along yesterday, what's possible for Villa this year is they've just got to accumulate as many points as they can, because the more points they get now, the bigger the gap is there on Spurs and United and Newcastle. Top four for Aston Villa would be miraculous for Emery. Absolutely superb. And of course, while you're accumulating those points, if you're in a title race, you're in a title race. They're just doing so well at the moment, Villa. It's hard to see what they can do in January. I think they need a few more players, but you don't want to ruffle the feathers of the players that are doing so well at the moment. It's just unbelievable. But I think Villa's away form stops them being in a league title for me. And then you got Liverpool top of the league. And I thought Liverpool yesterday, and Klopp said it himself, we were doing the watch along, and I said, AU sending off changes the game. I don't want to talk about VAR. It is what it is. Even I'm starting to get used to its inaccuracies and inconsistencies. You've got a yellow card for AU for Van Dijk kicking the ball at him because he's not 5-10 yards away. And then you've got the same thing happen in the Villa game. No yellow card. A soft penalty given against Liverpool that VAR overturns a referee, even though it's not clear and obvious mistake. And then in the Arsenal game, they don't overturn a soft penalty, that wasn't given by the ref. It's weird, but look, the sending off changed the game. Even Klopp said that. Klopp said they didn't play well, and then they took advantage of the 10 men. There's a 38-game season. You're going to have games where you don't play well. You're going to have games where you get a little bit of luck, and Liverpool have had a bit of bad luck, as we know, because of VAR. So, Liverpool are where they deserve to be at the moment. They've only lost one game, and that was that Spurs game. So you look at it like that. I think they're missing Alexi McAllister yesterday. I think I've said it before. Statistically, there's hidden stats in there, but just with the naked eye, what he brings to that team, especially in that conductor position, is massive. And they did miss him yesterday. But Liverpool are top of the league, and as I said, this Liverpool Arsenal game in a couple of weeks, I mean, just going to be massively fascinating. What a Christmas cracker that's going to be. And of course, we've got Man City, who I'm sure will win at 2 o'clock today, which will put them to 33 points, but they're still 4 points off the top. And they'll be looking at that Liverpool-Arsenal game and thinking, what's the best result for them? But Man City are very dangerous because we know they can just go and win games after game after game. But then again, Man City have got Arsenal. They've got to play Liverpool at Anfield. They've still got to play Villa at the Etihad again. There are games where Man City can drop points. And I just hope that this league table carries on as it is. But I do think that what we have here is a league that we're really passionate about, where anyone can beat anybody. But the flip side to that is, if anybody can beat anybody, you can't go over the top when your team gets beat. And the Arsenal Villa game yesterday, it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. It's a logical result of what this league is, very competitive. And if you are Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City and you're going away to Villa Park or Anfield or St James's Park or even Spurs, then, or even Stamford Bridge or even West Ham or even Brighton, you might not come away with 3 points, because that's the competitive nature of the league. Get your comments in below. What are your thoughts on the title race? What are your thoughts on Arsenal? Do you really think it's a drama? Liverpool, are they favourites now because they're top? Can Villa win the league? So much to get your comments in below. And don't forget, I've got my game of the weekend, Spurs-Newcastle. I think it's going to be a cracker. Watch along this afternoon. I'll speak to you all a little bit later.